Well, it will come through, but like I said, I think it's going to be a morning of.
But you are a Kumasi boy, so I'm sure you would have picked
shock.
up
No, just result.
A morning of sorrow.
We
morning of sorrow.
We run a system, so I can't go above and beyond that system. So we'll wait for the system to work. But just also on the points that you made, and I think that NPP was foolhardy, and after a point, took the goodwill for granted. Because Bernard and Vivian, in the face of a very trying time for Ghanaians, some of there were several moments of being tone deaf. They did not read the room. Serious situations that required a certain level of tact to be dealt with. The kind of feedback you would get would be like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. You know, so I don't know. That's why I'm with Bernard on they being shell-shocked. Because up until the last minute, if you know you are losing an election, you change tack. You change tack one way or the other. And that is where the pretense would come in, because then you pretend that, hey, I have to be nice to people. But right up until the last month, the tone was the same, depending on who you were talking to, depending on who you were interviewing, depending on the quotes that we were getting, some of the activities that happened, and we assumed that, people would think it's business as usual. And I think the big lesson also is that Ghanaians have just developed we won't mind you, but when the time comes, we will see.
Deal with you.
You know, and so I think it's genuine shock. I think they've really been caught by surprise by this, especially with some of the results and the places they are coming from. Look, I don't think the NPP expected Asin Central. It will be hard, considering that. Look, if you look at the stature of Kennedy Japan in the NPP these days, outside of Akufo-Addo, we could say he is the most popular of the senior public-facing members of the NPP nationally. Wontumi and the rest are popular regionally and also have a certain level of national presence. But Kennedy Japan has reached a certain level.
But popular nationally, is it popular locally?
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. They would not have expected this there. Okay? A couple more will come through where perhaps we can also have the same discussion. Look, secondly, no matter the analysis that would have been done about this, you think that they expected second D of all places? There would have been easier picks for a shock than second D. Second D is a very tough pick. Look, you would have to be a really, really tough betting man. Yeah.
But a reporter, for example, it makes it difficult for me to think that they didn't see this coming.
No, I don't think
because our reporter is on the ground. They have party executives on the ground who may even know more than our reporter based on what they have access to.
Vivian, if they did, when the president went to the Western region, some of the things that happened there would not have happened.
You mean the statue thing?
The statues. Look, and post that, if you listen to this, there's a young man who runs this. It's kind of like what Tajuddin does for us with the microphones.
Vox Pop.
The Vox Pops. And he does a very popular Vox Pop. It's called Goshes, I think.
Okay.
Look, the day after, he went to the market in Second. Oh, okay. They were like, oh, they've come. What's the way to statue? No problem. And I'm saying, if you're on the ground and in that constituency, you don't get a sense that the people don't like what you're doing, what you've done over the, so it's hard.
So